I want to start off with the NBA because that is what has really been going on, especially this past week. The plan was, as of a week ago, all the players on board, the NBAPA, well, the NBPA was all on board to resume the season in Orlando in this bubble environment, have the 22 teams have those playing games and finish the rest of the season. But then news started coming out that it would be almost up to 90 days, 80 something days in that bubble environment if the teams were to make it all the way deep into the playoffs. And I think that caused a lot of panic for a lot of players, a lot of skepticism among them. Kyrie Irving has been a lead voice in kind of saying, guys, we got to focus on what's going on right now in the world. We got to stand up for our people. This isn't the time to play basketball. Dwight Howard joined in too and said, I don't want to play basketball either. So did Avery Bradley. But a lot of this kind of skepticism is coming among the teams that aren't really having a chance to make a championship run. A lot of them are, the Nets, the Blazers, seven or eight seeds and below, all the teams that haven't really fought for a championship before the season went on pause. So Ethan, what do you think about the NBA's return, and do you think it'll even end up taking place after all this skepticism among the players right now?
So I'm not sure whether or not the NBA will continue with what they have planned, because I saw this thing that the NPA was considering not going back and not furthering. But I think right now the number one priority for the NBA should be the players. Yes, all organizations want to boost the economy by continuing and boosting revenue, but what's important is the players and the people on the staff, because those are the people that will be um, in contact with other people and more and are able to get the virus more. And right now, since they're talking about playing in Orlando at Disney's ESPN Wild World of Sports, but keep in mind, there's also the MLS who wants to play there and any other sport because Disney can hold that facility. But there's going to be so many people there. It may be hard to keep all the athletes in one place and away from other athletes to keep them safe. So right now, I think there needs to be a lot more that the NBA needs to do in order to bring the season back.
Chris?
Yeah, so when it comes to the NBA, there's a lot of mixed reviews coming from players in terms of why they shouldn't play. Some players state the safety concerns of the coronavirus, which makes complete sense because basketball is such a contact sport. Unlike baseball and other sports like that where you can distance, and golf where it's not necessarily a contact sport, you can't avoid that part of the game in the NBA. But right now, a lot of players are stating the social climate as a reason not to play and feeling that it'll serve as a distraction. But in my opinion, I think being able to play will provide these players an even bigger platform. Being that they're playing their game, simple actions as kneeling for the anthem or wearing an armband that says Black Lives Matter, like that's your platform. I think Stephen A. Smith said it best on First Take when he said that the biggest solutions are going to come in courtrooms and things like that. And the NBA players, while they are a good voice for media and things like that, their expertise doesn't come in the legal field. So they can continue to bring awareness by playing and bringing awareness to the cause and allow for lawmakers and things like that to actually bring the change.
But Chris, I think NBA players can also show that their support and their impact off the court, because right now, even if they can't play, a lot of NBA players are still showing their support by going to rallies and going to support other communities off the court. On the court, yes, that's a huge thing, but that's minor. But right now, I think they need to focus on their safety too. The two things, both of them are very important, don't get me wrong, but I still think their safety is what needs to be important to them, so that way they can continue with their job and their career and still be able to play while also showing their impact and voicing their opinions.
Yeah, Chris, I think you said it best when Stephen A. on First Take this morning. He said it on Get Up First, and that's where I saw it. But I know they got more into it on First Take too. He said, if you don't want to, if these players don't want to go down to Orlando and get away from their family because of coronavirus and they're scared of it for health reasons, completely understandable. But if you don't want to go to not go to work and walk in the streets, that he literally said that's foolish. And I'm quoting him. I think everything going on in the world, I think all the protests, everything is definitely necessary. And these players are using their voices to make change, and that's awesome. But it's like you said, they will be the NBA. They were talking about having maybe 6 games a day in Orlando. They would be the only thing on TV. It's summer right now. All the TV shows that were supposed to go on in the fall can't be filmed because production has been stopped for everything. They would literally be the main event on TV among sports, and everyone would be watching the finish of the season. And that is where they can make a change, and they can use their voices, especially if every single NBA player is down there in Orlando. And, Patrick Beverley, I think it was Patrick Beverley the other day, who was like, if King James said he's going to play, if LeBron's playing, we all playing, let's be honest. And LeBron just started that voting rights group with Trae Young, and now he's doing a bunch of stuff off the court too, and he's always done that. And I think it's super important for them to use their voices, but I do think the NBA, that doesn't excuse the NBA to not finish out the rest of the season. Trying to get my answer to come full circle there. I know I just rambled on a bit.